And we are back, and we just finished watching 2010's Easy A, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour and 32 minutes. We saw this on Hulu. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Saw this on Hulu. This was directed by, I should have had this up, Will Gluck, with writing credits to Bert V. Royal. This tells the story of a young woman named Olive, played by Emma Stone, who is somehow Cruella. Yes, my youngest didn't realize that Emma Stone was the same actress that was in that. This is the story of a young woman who decides to kind of do a good deed, but then is swept up in this tsunami of lies and high school intrigue and what else? Drama,
shattered reputations,
just
bribery.
All the bad stuff in high school, I guess. I'd seen this a while ago, and I liked it as kind of a teen movie, and I thought that the writing was decent, the actors were all good, the story moved along really well. It's only 1 hour and 32 minutes, so it's not a huge investment on time. And I thought the script brought up some really good topics. So I'm going to go around the room now and get impressions. Gigi, I'm going to start with you today. What did you think of this movie?
It was all right.
It was just okay. Did you have a favorite character?
No.
Did you have a favorite scene?
No.
If you were in Olive's shoes, what would you have done? Would you have done differently or same?
I wouldn't have lied about that. That's horrible.
You wouldn't have lied about the initial lie, which was she lied to her friend.
I wouldn't have said that either.
Yeah. That was kind of a stupid thing to lie about, no?
She lied about it because she thought her parents were like psychopaths.
Yeah, but even still, like, if she didn't want to go, she should have just been like, I just don't feel like going into the woods. I'm not a nature girl.
Yeah, there was a lot of outs that she could have taken, but then you wouldn't have had a movie.
I guess that's true. And you come to find out, we're going to spoil the crap out of this because this, again, is over 10 years old.
This is before smartphones.
Yes. Yes. And it's funny how the big social media was Facebook. I mean, it's still kind of a big player, but I feel like other platforms have taken precedence now.
Yeah.
So
Facebook is for your parents
and grandparents. And so I wanted to, okay, so she lied to Rianne, her friend, right? Mm-hmm. Rianne, whatever.
But her friend was sort of like, her friend basically made it up and was like, tell me everything, and she just wouldn't shut up about it.
Right,
and
so then she made this outlandish story.
She just went along with it to satisfy her friend, and then it just exploded out of control.
Right.
Yeah.
Question for you. Is Olive justified? Because then you come to find out that the boy that Olive had a crush on actually shared a kiss with her best friend, and her best friend never said anything. How would you feel about that?
If I like someone and my best friend kissed them?
Yeah. If you found out that, let's say you liked Woodchuck Todd.
And they already knew.
No, you didn't know. So you're Olive, right? If you're Olive and your bestie kept the secret from you that the boy that you kind of liked, she had kissed him and she never said anything to you, how would you feel about that?
I wouldn't care.
No?
But
yeah, why would any?
It's not like he's my boyfriend.
Her friend already knew that she liked him.
But her friend, by omission, is kind of also a liar here. No?
So?
But it doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter because, like, one, nothing came of it. Two, they weren't dating or anything.
Yeah.
True, but
and it's
but
sort of like that. To me, this is like a prime example of we need movie drama. This is not real life drama. This is not the sort of thing that destroys friendships in the real world.
So then why is the friend getting bent out of shape about, oh, well, you never, I had to find out from somebody else that you did such and such and such.
That is also movie drama.
Yeah.
This is the sort of drama that only exists so that
the story could
progress
along.
and people could be
so
like,
people don't
really
act like
hurt.
this? Because I watched it and I was like, yeah, I could see people being this crazy.
I think you want to live in a movie because this is not how reality
I don't
works.
want to live in that movie.
So many things I see when it's dealing with relationships and people getting together. It's like one of the reasons why I can't stand the show Friends, because everything was just super high drama, minor infractions are and then major infractions are just sort of like, oh, okay, we're over it now, we're best friends again, yay. God, I hated that show. And I
hated that show because I didn't like the writing and it just glossed over way too many things. And
it's like Hollywood drama. It's not the type of drama that's.
It wasn't even funny.
No, but I'm not talking about in like general stuff like in this too. Like people really get bent out of shape over minutia in these films, and you need it because if you don't have it, you don't have a way to progress the plot.
You don't have the groove.
Okay.
All right.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
But yeah, you need to progress the plot. But to me, that's like if you're watching a really good film, they don't rely on stuff like that. There's more going in where you could see, oh, I could totally understand this person being betrayed. But finding out offhand that your best friend kissed your crush, who you never really connected with after one event in your life together, and you weren't even really, he wasn't even your crush at this point. I mean, at the point where we come into their lives, when this movie takes place, she's not pining over this guy.
Right. Well, she kind of is because she still has a crush on him.
Nah, she's not really.
I mean, she's not pining in like the Victorian sense of pining, but she like there's that scene in the beginning where they're in the bleachers and they're watching him as a blue devil or whatever, and she's sort of got kind of like a look on her face, and her friend knows that she likes this guy.
To me, it was never emphasized enough.
Okay. Fair enough.
It was just sort of like, yeah, I did like him. I could totally see liking him. But it's not like as though, oh my God, this is the dream boy. Mm-hmm. You were asking me before what would be a better teen movie. Mm-hmm. And I thought about it, and my mind immediately ran to Edge of 17.
Oh, God, I love that.
Edge of 17 is great in that respect.
Yeah. Although she's cringier.
Way
Nadine
cringier.
is
Nadine is way cringier. Is the mom the same mom?
Is the mom? No, that's Kira Sedgwick in Edge of 17. Yeah.
All right. They have a
similarity. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah.
But anyway.
But this, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
This common occurrence.
Off topic. I felt like that was good casting. Emma Stone could be related to Patricia Clarkson. There was something about their faces, maybe? No? When they were in the hood of the car having their like mother-daughter moment.
I don't know.
No?
Their head shapes are wildly different.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going.
I think you broke
Edge of 17.
Edge of 17. It was just
a better movie.
I feel like it was written better. Like I could see that sense of like the sense of betrayal that Nadine felt when she found out her best friend was dating her brother. I could see that. You have this like really antagonistic relationship with your brother, and now you find out that your best friend, who's supposed to be yours, is now you got to share her with him. Mm-hmm. This person who
the bastard.
He wasn't a bastard. He was a super nice guy.
He was a super nice guy.
That was another thing about Edge of 17 was that you could see she was like she's a moody teenager in this movie, and it really plays well. And
you don't like Nadine.
You don't. There are certain things you don't like about Nadine, but you do care about her. And it also another parallel between this movie and that was the teacher.
Yeah,
the sort of like snarky teacher who admires the student, but also is very.
There's a boundary.
There's a boundary, and and he's like he sees the BS.
Yeah,
and I feel like Edge of 17 really did a much better job with that. Mm-hmm. I feel like Thomas Hayden Church was in there he served his purpose in the scenes he was in, but he didn't really have much else going on for him outside of that.
Well, speaking of Friends, there's the story about how his wife
felt tacked on.
Did it?
It didn't feel like it was needed in the story at all. Because nothing really amounted to it where it changed anything. It just sort of like damaged his life.
Right.
And
well, that's kind of huge. I mean, your marriage.
But he was
over.
such a minor character that it was like, it wasn't needed. It was sort of like an extra. He could have been, that whole situation could have been just another boy that gave her a gift card to lie for them.
I felt like Woody Harrelson's character was a bigger part of Edge of 17.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It was like that part, that role was
meatier.
It was similar, but like handled way better in one movie than the other, and the writing was sharper in that movie than the other.
Yeah, for sure.
So Edge of 17, I think was great. This one, I feel was just kind of mediocre.
Better than Crush.
Crush was terrible.
Crush was terrible.
Was just terrible.
I still can't get the stink of it out of my mouth.
This was serviceable to me. It was okay. I didn't really think any of the comedy bits were that funny. I mean, Emma Stone played her part well. She was a likable character, but I didn't quite get where the hell she was going with her whole, I'm just going to lean into this and put an A on my chest. And I don't know, Amanda Bynes' character was sort of like a joke or a super stereotypical thing. The boy that she liked, the nice boy,
Woodchuck Todd.
He was just sort of there as like, oh, well, we're not all scum.
Yeah.
And her friends, it was, I don't know.
Did she have friends other than Rihanna?
No, not really. Her friend, that's what I'm talking about, Rihanna. I didn't understand why their relationship crumbled. Was it really because Rihanna was just jealous that she was getting all the attention now? I don't know. And then it was like,
emotions
was Rihanna,
run high
was
in high
Rihanna
school.
Now part of the religious clique?
She was sitting with her, right?
Yeah, it was. She's holding up a sign with a Bible verse on it or something. I don't know. I feel like there was shortcuts taken for the sake of progressing plot in this movie.
I can co-sign on that. Absolutely. What about you, Olive G? Did you have a favorite scene in this movie?
Not that I remember.
No. Did you have a favorite character?
Olive.
Did you like this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you think it was funny or anything, or
I thought it was a little funny.
did anything stand out?
No.
Why did you like Olive? Other than she had a cool name.
Because she was a strong female lead.
Very good.
Yes.
Carried
She
the
was.
story from point A to point B.
Wow, that's very good.
Some analysis.
Olive, what if you were in that situation? How would you have handled it differently?
I don't really know.
No. Okay.
Would you lie for somebody like that?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right.
I mean, I feel like the initial lie with Brandon came from a good place. I mean, he came to her completely devastated, and you know kids that are like that just have a really hard time in high school.
Yeah. Plus, you saw the evidence of it.
Right.
I mean, the first time you see him, his nose is busted
bleeding.
open. Yeah. So.
And she spent the day in detention or the afternoon in detention with him, so they formed a bond.
So that felt earned. It sort of made sense. You could see he appealed to her sense of pity almost.
Right. Empathy and compassion. Which is not high on the Richter scale in high school.
Yeah.
Because everything is about conforming and fitting in and
being cool.
And not creating waves.
Yeah.
And just kind of being cookie cutter. People that buck the norms are the ones that usually are under the microscope, no? Or
they're the ones who usually get ostracized or whatever. There's when I was in high school or even junior high, I don't remember there being a trendsetter. Or if there was a kid who was trying to be a trendsetter, it was sort of like, what is going on with this kid? Like I remember one kid, he's like, oh, I'm gonna wear like bicycle shorts and a leather biker jacket, and we all looked at him like he was a complete weirdo.
Well, I went to the High School of Fashion Industry, so being against the norm was
okay. I just went to Brooklyn Tech. So.
Yeah. Gee, would you dress like that?
I don't know.
No,
Never.
never.
I wouldn't dress like that either.
No.
No.
Yeah, I
don't want to dress like a whore.
Yeah.
She was. I mean, the outfits were like really over the top.
Yeah.
Like bustiers. Like the first time she dresses up where people are sort of nosing, it was basically just a black shirt, and I think she was wearing, I guess, high heels.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, oh yeah, well I'm gonna like just go all in, and she just went to the local lingerie store and
bought,
made all these like crazy outfits.
Side question: that was a beautiful house.
This is movies. Everybody's got beautiful houses and their high schools. Seriously,
Her bedroom was amazing.
she had her own bathroom in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had this
I
big
never had
bathroom. Her
that.
bedroom had a hallway.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell they were. And like their house wasn't even the nicest one.
No.
The party house was probably the nicer house. And then the high school has got gazebos and a campus and a giant
huge
swimming pool. What the hell? I mean,
we grew up in the wrong place.
my high school looked like a penitentiary.
I did too.
Seriously, there was like a cage on the roof. There was literally a cage on the roof where kids would play basketball. It was ridiculous.
If you were Olive's friend, G, what advice would you have given her?
What, the curly
Not
haired?
no, like
No.
If you were a friend of hers, if you ran in her social circles, and you see the situation happening to this young woman where she is kind of caught up in this tsunami of drama, and if she was your friend, what would you say to her? Like, what would your advice be to her?
Stop being a fool.
Mm-hmm.
And how would that work? What would you tell her to do? Would you
Stop
tell her?
lying. She's ruining her life.
Yeah, and her reputation.
But the thing is, G wouldn't be like forcing these imaginary details out of her. I don't think G would care. It's
Yeah,
like, oh, you went on a date? Okay, how did it go? Nice? That sounds good.
Yeah.
That to me, that's how G would act.
Yeah, that's true.
It wouldn't just be like, oh my God, you did it. You totally lost your V card.
Do people talk like that?
In this movie, they did.
In 2010?
Yeah. That was ridiculous. This was written by somebody who watched too many high school movies.
Or WB programs.
Or WB programs, yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of it irritated me a little because like they're quoting or like they're showing clips of like old high school drama, like, you know, Say Anything and The Breakfast Club. And when the kid shows up at the end, he's holding the analogy
speaker.
of speakers over his head, but it's playing the wrong song.
Yes. Yes, it is playing the wrong song.
That irritated me.
Although it is a John Hughes. It's from
it is, but it's
Breakfast Club.
if you're gonna do the boombox over your head,
it has to be In Your Eyes by
it
Peter
has to
Gabriel.
be In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel.
Yeah. Which is baller song.
Yeah. If you're gonna do the
It's a
whole,
really good
if you're
song.
gonna do the whole
I rebuke you.
Breakfast Club thing, then come dressed in a trench coat and put your fist up in
Like
the air.
Judd Nelson, right?
Judd
Right.
Nelson,
Yeah.
They did it at the end. They
Yes.
combined like all of those things together.
Right. And the lawnmower was from Can't Buy Me Love with Patrick Dempsey.
Oh, right.
That was the other
yeah.
one.
I've never seen that movie.
It's silly. I've seen it. I mean, it's not winning any awards.
Patrick Dempsey was one of those guys who's I was just like, I want to punch that guy in the face.
Really?
Yeah.
He kind of had a career, and then he went away, and then that Grey's Anatomy happened, and then he blew up big time. I can't
For a
believe
little
that
while.
show.
And I think he tried to do a movie again, and it was back on the.
Well,
back
he's
the
not on that
toilet.
show. He hasn't been on that show in forever. But I cannot believe that show. That show is like on season 19. How is that possible?
I don't know. That's like one of those shows where maybe they just forgot it's on, and they're just renewing it by act like Always Sunny.
Like, I don't even think Shonda Rhimes is associated with it anymore. She has like a Netflix deal.
I have no idea. I don't even.
Also, Netflix.
I barely know who
Get
Shonda
your
Rhimes
shit
is.
together. What the hell is going on over there?
All right, so Is there
other
anything else to
thoughts,
say about this
questions, comments about this film? Anyone? Bueller?
Yeah, they mentioned Ferris Bueller, another movie where I want to punch the protagonist in
I
the face.
do not like Matthew Broderick. I've not
I
liked
don't-
him
I
for a
don't-
very long time.
I don't have much of a problem with Matthew Broderick. I just despise Ferris Bueller. I can't stand that movie.
Why?
I didn't have a problem with that movie.
He is such a douchebag in the entire movie, and everybody's just like, "Oh, Ferris, save Ferris. Ferris is the best." And you're a douchebag. You're a total douchebag.
And he gets away with it.
He gets
at the
away
end.
with it. He gets away with it at the end.
Yeah. Well, I think that movie came out prior to him murdering those 2 women in Ireland. So
yeah.
What the hell?
yeah,
He
and
got into an accident and killed 2 people.
and never faced any repercussions over it. Consequences, right? Olive G, scale of 1 to 10. What are we gonna give this movie?
7.
A 7.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with a 6. What's your number?
I'd give this a 5. This is
5.
to me. This was average.
What about you, Gigi?
I was gonna say 6 too.
All
It was
right.
all right.
6. Yeah, it was all right. It was better than average. I think it was better than average. It wasn't. I agree with you. I think Edge of 17 is definitely stronger. The writing's better. The situations are better.
For me, there were like parts where they were really going. It was clearly leaning towards the comedic as far as the tone that they were going for, but the jokes and stuff were not there.
In your opinion, what would have made this better?
Just a better script with better dialogue. I mean, you could have a situation like this 100%. This situation sort of lends itself into sort of some sort of weird comedy, but I just didn't think any of the jokes were that good. They didn't not like. I don't think there was a moment in the film where I laughed.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I chuckled. I don't like belly laugh, but I
that's
feel
the
like
thing. Or I didn't. It didn't make me feel anything either. Like Edge of 17 wasn't. I wasn't slapping my knee, laughing hysterically during it, but I felt something. Felt for Nadine. I felt for the characters.
you felt the cringe.
I felt the cringe. I felt that growth was achieved. It's the type of writing that really reaches to you.
Right.
This didn't have that. This was sort of like just surface stuff. It's very, we're going for a couple of laughs.
Okay, fair enough.
Everything was sort of predictable. Like you knew how that date with that
jerk was going to
the kid
end.
at the lobster shack was going to end.
Yeah.
Of course it was going to end like that.
Yeah.
You knew that nobody was going to step forward and
Be in
do
her
the
corner,
right thing. And then the whole thing with
The guidance counselor.
Lisa Kudrow, that felt like really just tacked on. I mean, she's introduced, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh yeah, she's cheating on her husband.
Yeah,
who we like.
Yeah.
And like what? Like I don't know. You didn't need that for her to eventually reveal the truth.
Yeah.
That wasn't even the catalyst for her revealing the truth.
Right. You know what? I still stand by my number 6. I think it's better than average. I think there's been other films that do this way worse. But I agree with some of your notes, and I think if I was gonna give notes here for this film, I would have said lose the whole like Jesus people thing, because I felt like that was extra.
Yeah, I mean that.
If it had just focused on her friend, and how this one lie ballooned into other lies, and the reason why that these other lies happened, maybe have more of an interaction with the teacher, not even have his wife be anything here, like get rid of Lisa Kudrow, get rid of Amanda Bynes and all of her little Scooby gang and that whole storyline, get rid of who else? I think that's it, right? I think those two, and then they could have focused more on Olive's story, fleshed it out better. Agree with you, a little bit better writing. I mean, it was decent. It wasn't the worst thing I ever saw. It wasn't the best thing.
Just better plot management.
And maybe have Woodchuck Todd be a little bit more than just
Yeah, have him have more of a have more of a role.
Yeah, more stakes in the story.
Like what I thought was going to happen was that the teacher was going to get pulled into it because they were like, oh well, she's spending some time with the teacher. Mm-hmm. Clearly, something's going on there, and there was going to be trouble there, and that was where the trouble with the marriage was going to. Because she's like, I became a home wrecker. Mm-hmm. So that's where I thought that was going to go. But the way it went was. It was like, you didn't need this at all. Yeah. It was almost like you're filling minutes with this.
But it's also an interesting take because I guess usually when you think of cheating spouses, you usually think of a husband, not really the wife. And then the wife is now kind of engaging in some like big time shenanigans because this is a student. So, and she's supposed to be a guidance counselor. It's like, where are your ethics here?
It was like, oh, they add in the whole thing. Well, he's actually 22.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know. It was poor writing.
Yeah.
It was just poor writing.
Yeah, I feel like that whole thing should have just been removed.
They should have removed that entire
She
thing.
shouldn't have, the Lisa Kudrow character shouldn't have existed. The Amanda Bynes and her group of friends shouldn't have existed.
Like, I could see that, but like, you could see that they were there for comedy purposes, and it just wasn't funny. Mm-hmm. It's not like I felt insulted because I believe in any of that. It just wasn't funny. It was too Jesus and love and forgiveness, but I can't because dirty adulterers and homosexuals and it was just, I don't know. It was, if you're going to use characters like that, give them a little bit more use, make some more use out of it, because really they protested a bit, and then they were like out of the way, and then for a second there, for like a hot minute, they were friends.
Yeah.
It was just like,
what is going on?
What is going on? And then they're enemies again, and it was sort of like, come on, you got to be more organized in your storytelling. And apparently, all this took place over like 2 weeks,
something like that. Yeah.
It was kind of all over the place. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing there would have been to like just cut out some of the minutia, the stuff that wasn't really necessary.
Yeah. Either that or just you have a bunch of pieces, use them better. Just use them better, and also get some smarter jokes.
Better writers, yeah.
Better humor, more wit. There was like hints of it here and there. Olive was, you could see she had some kind of wit to her. Her parents were a little like, wow, I wish I had the coolest parents on earth like that. That was like, they were like fantasy parents.
What are you talking about? We're like that.
No, we're not.
What are you talking about?
We're not. We yell at the kids. We punish the kids when they're bad or just get upset. They were fantasy parents. They
let their daughter go to school dressed like that.
Yeah, it was like, come on, say something. Okay, you want to be encouraging and whatnot, but find out what the hell's going on. Your daughter just suddenly, in the span of the span of a week, suddenly just decides, I'm going to dress all my clothes. All my clothes I'm going to look like I'm working a pull, and you don't notice or say anything about it.
But didn't they repeatedly ask her? And she was like, it's fine, it's fine. And her thing was more like, well, if you hear anything, just don't believe it.
Yeah, if you hear I gave everybody chlamydia, don't.
Obviously, that's not true. Yeah.
Well, how about you give us some details about why this happened?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they did ask, but you can only get so much out of somebody who doesn't want to tell you.
This is them asking, "Oh, you're covered in blood. What's going on?" "Oh, don't worry about it. If you hear anything, just pretend nothing." Okay.
That's not true.
Like, no, a good parent, even a somewhat realistically written parent, is going to be like, I think I need to know a little bit more about the situation here.
But they repeatedly asked her, should I be worried? Should we be worried?
There's should I be worried? And there is tell me what the hell is going on right now, or you're never going to see the light of day again.
Anytime there was family time, the other child was completely ignored. and the focus was on Olive.
Yeah, there was no purpose to that.
There was another character that could have been removed. Absolutely. I don't even know why that child was in the script.
He was there to show fantasy parents. Oh,
We're
so
diversified.
much love to give. We're going to adopt a kid. Does it play any part in the story?
No.
No, it just serves to increase that Olive's parents are just the greatest, most easygoing parents on earth, and even with
my God, I feel like we're like that.
Even with their minimal guidance in their daughter's life, everything's going to be just perfectly fine.
I feel like we're like that. We don't have that sensational house,
if
but
I sense something is wrong with my kids, I'm going to ask, and I'm going to try and find out what is wrong. Because I want to do everything in my power to help them if I can.
Right. But if you're roadblocked, what do? You can only help if somebody is willing to give you information.
I do what I can to find out what's going on.
Which means start threatening to take stuff away.
Sometimes I do just some investigating, and I figure out what's up.
Do you? I wonder.
Or I think about things. I have thought about things and figured out stuff.
How to open locked doors?
Just by going on my own experience. I was a kid once. I've been angry and depressed at times, or things bothered me. I'll ask questions. I don't just be like, oh, is this something we need to be concerned about? Okay, let's popcorn. All right, let's watch a movie. Let's watch The Bucket List.
Who wants to watch The Bucket List?
I don't know.
Why would you subject your kids to that?
Stanley Tucci.
I love that guy, but still.
Is he in The Bucket? Maybe that's why.
No, that's Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson, isn't it?
I don't know. Anyway, let's wrap this up.
All right, so what did we say? 7, 6, 6, 5. Okay. If you haven't seen it and want some quick, mindless entertainment, you can go check out Easy A on Hulu. But
I would say it's not really for kids.
Yes, there's
not really for kids. There's some innuendo and whatever.
Adult situations.
A lot of it revolves around sex. If you don't want your kids knowing about that earlier than a certain age, keep that in mind. It's more, I would say, teen and up.
Teen and up. Yeah. Although, if you want to watch a better high school movie, Edge of 17 from 2016 is currently streaming on Netflix. So go check that out. But if you haven't seen it and you want some silly, mindless entertainment, Easy A can also fit that bill.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it silly. It's not that funny.
Silly in that it's not going to tax your brain.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes, this is not going to make you think.
Yes, no.
I will probably forget all about this film by tomorrow.
Yeah, this is just mindless popcorn entertainment. It's not saving lives. It's not changing lives. Mm-hmm. It's just there. All right, and that's it from us, and we will bid you all a good night.
Good night.
Good night.